Welcome to a very special edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with the legendary Hammond B3 jazz organist Dr. Lonnie Smith. Over the course of a lengthy, open conversation, Dr. Smith went through the full lineage of his career, dispensing wisdom and love and everything that he has garnered from the world at large over the years. Full of stories, anecdotes, wisdom, and a very original Dr. Smith story through and through, I think you're going to dig this. Enjoy.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith.
Is it Joe?
Yeah, this is Joe Domino. Dr. Smith, how are you?
Oh, good morning. Fantastic. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time today.
No problem. What are you doing up this early?
Early bird gets the worm, I guess.
That's right. You're right about that.
Again, thank you very much for letting us speak with you. And I'm just going to go ahead and hop right in here and ask you, first of all, on your new label, Pilgrimage, what are you working on right now? Do you have anything that's in the works on the heels of the album The Healer?
Am I working on something new, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I have something in mind, but I'm not sure just which way I'm going to. It's not that I don't know what I'm going to do musically, but I'm just trying to figure out how am I going to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not. I already know what I want to do, and it's going to be nice. This is what I know that much.
Very cool.
Right. Yes.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to go to the beginning of your life here, so to speak, with who you call an angel, Art Kubera, who gave you he gave you your first Hammond B3. How old were you, and what were your feelings when you got that instrument for the first time?
I started late. I had to be around 20, something like that. 20, 21, 20, yeah. Somewhere like that. But when I first got it, the feeling that I got was, it was like, to me, it was like a part of me that I found, or it found me. There was a connection there already from the start. It was a connection.
Cool.
It's like a long lost, because I consider the organ instrument an extension of me. And that's what it felt like when I touched it. I was in a world of glory.
Right on.
It's like meeting as someone that I lost,
Mm-hmm.
and I had gotten back together or something. It was a reunion.
Yeah.
And I was very ecstatic. I was very happy.
Very cool. And again, at the beginning of kind of your coming into your musical own, your mom gave you an appreciation for gospel, classic, and jazz. How important was that to have all of those genres of music to give you the appreciation as a musician?
As a musician, it helped me so much because I don't think she was thinking of it in those terms. Because what happened, all her sisters sang. Her mother, they had a spiritual quartet. They used to sing on on the radio every week.
Yeah.
And it didn't phase her, and we'd be in the house, and relatives would come over and we'd start singing. And I was a kid, and I would jump in. She'd have me to jump in, and it was beautiful. So I remember all of that. And she wanted to, she had offered to record and go out, but she wouldn't. My father said she's a housewife, so he wouldn't let her go out. So she just stayed home. But, and I remember when I would go out playing, as I learned how to play or traveling, she would come out and sing with me sometimes.
Very cool.
Yeah, I would let her sing some
So, in those early gigs, the first gigs you had in Buffalo, what was the scene like?
Mm. Well, like I tell all the kids when you're doing all sorts of different things, is that you want to. They say, well, what do I do? I say, well, you have to look for a job. What you do is make a job. I say, you make a job. Like when I went out, one of the very first gigs my brother and I played, some fella, it wasn't the first gig, but I was singing, and they were playing, and we went to audition for this club. They wanted some music, and the fella took us to audition, and the band gave us the job. But the day we were supposed to play that weekend, the fella didn't call us back. Not the person that owned the club, but the fellow who had us audition. So he got some other people, and he played, but he got the job. So we went by the club, and we asked him. He said, and the club owner said, "What happened to you?" I say, "Nobody called us." So I say, "Look," I told the owner, I said, "If we worked here, I could bring people there.
Yeah.
If we don't draw, don't pay us."
Right.
I made the gig, went in there, he gave us a job, or he tried us out on a Sunday afternoon. I think it was 1 o'clock or something, 2 o'clock. And people were walking by and they heard the music, and they started coming in. And he started getting a lot of the crowd.
Yeah.
And that did it.
Right on.
It was really something. You would have to see that to see it work. It was like really outstanding. But the scene, I wanted to play organ only because my brothers played guitar, bass, and drums, and there was no keyboard.
Yeah.
I was just singing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be up there playing myself. So I was singing. People love vocalists, horn players, and things. But I would just sit until it's time for me to go up and play, sing. So I wanted to play. So the club owner bought as a friend of mine had a keyboard, and he brought it by for $5. He let me rent it. Now I didn't play, remind you.
Yeah.
I could a couple of chords, but I didn't play. And he bought a keyboard for me, and I would go around to the other clubs, anywhere where there's somebody playing an organ or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we would go in, I would sit in, and we would start playing. And we were supposed to be playing at the other club that we had gotten.
Yeah.
And I'd come back about an hour late or so, from playing and driving. You had to drive, first of all. And we got back, and he says, "Where have you been?" People were there waiting for to hear the music. And so I said, "Well, I'm just out." He said, "Well, where you don't leave here no more. You stay here, don't." I said, "Look, you can't tell me where to go." I said, "I can go to Japan and back as long as I come back on time."
Yeah.
I said, "You can either find me," and then I said, "We quit."
Interesting.
And I told the people, this would have been a great movie to see. What have I told the people that we were going at this certain club because they had an organ?
Yeah.
There is and we told them, and they all got in their cars and followed us.
Huh.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Great. Yeah, but the club scene back in the day, like as you asked earlier, Buffalo used to be. They used to have a lot of acts like Little Richard, Fast Domino, and a lot of different acts like that. But I wasn't playing then. But as when I started his groups, he booked a lot of groups. He was a manager. And he said if the organ player was leaving, he said that we need an organist. So I said, well, I talked to my brothers, and they thought I'd say, well, I didn't want to leave them, you know. So
Yeah.
I said, if I do well, I'll get you out of here. And I left. They say, okay, it's okay. We understand. So I left. And the group, Sammy Bryan group, we started playing behind a lot of Motown groups that would come through.
Cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
And I just started playing now.
Yeah.
And we were playing behind all these big artists. But I didn't look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like most young people would like, that would be a blessing. If it was a blessing.
Yeah.
But I just love playing.
Yeah.
And before you know it, I had met a fellow by the name of Jack McDuff, and he had a little guitarist by the name of George Benson.
Yeah.
George Benson was playing with Jack McDuff.
Yeah.
He was playing, he came by this club, and he had heard me earlier when I just got the organ. He said, I heard you got an organ, and they needed an organ, to rent an organ.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. He said he talked me into it. So I rented the organ. Guess how much it was?
Not much.
I think it was $25
Wow.
for the week.
Man.
Now, how would I take do you like that? I didn't even get the $25.
Wow.
And so they said, man, they playing that organ up, they turn that music up, they turn the organ up. I said, who's turning the organ up? I'm thinking that. So I run up there to see who was messing my organ up. And it was Lou Donaldson.
Wow.
Lou Donaldson was in a pen. I said, wait a minute.
Wow.
And so I said to myself, I met him and everything. And I left. And I got my organ back.
Very cool.
And meanwhile, I have been going back and forth to New York and different places to play and come back, and I would go back to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened? As I was going back and forth to New York and different Pennsylvania and all these places, I met another Jimmy, Jimmy Boyd.
Yeah.
He was another manager. And he would handle people like Art Blakey and, you know, a lot of big names, you know.
Yeah.
And what happened, it came and they wanted me to record with Greg Green. Now, you got to imagine this. I hadn't been playing no time.
Yeah.
What did they see? So he came in, they said, be here. We're going to Rudy Van Gelder. That was another. So like all these big steps were there, you see?
Yeah.
That was another classic. Rudy Van Gelder, top engineer.
Yeah.
So I said, wow. So that's Blue Note, Lou Donaldson on Blue Note. I said, wow, this is something. So, Grant, they waited for me to be there at 1 o'clock. I did a show.
Uh-oh.
They came back the next night. I was playing at Small's Paradise at the time. That was Wilton Stilts. You had the place then.
Yeah.
York. Small's Paradise. And they came the next night. I didn't. They said, what happened? Well, be there tomorrow. I didn't go. So the fellas in the band said, man, why didn't you go? That was Grant Green. I said, I know. That's why I didn't go. Because, you know, I knew who Grant Green was. He was one of the four he was a top guitarist.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't about to go play with him. I just started playing. So what happened was, at that time, I decided to keep on. I went back to Lion, played with the group, you know.
Yeah.
What happened? The same manager, Jimmy Boyd, you know, Hammond, Horsfield, and all of them, he said, at the phone, they called me at this hotel I was at, and they said they needed me to come up. And I said, it was George and Jimmy Boyd. Now, George, I had met George and Jack McDuff, and I had fit in with Jack McDuff. So George had my number. He said, man, give me your number. You know, he said, let's get a group, right?
Yeah.
I gave him my number, and he lost the number. He said, Jimmy Boyd said, well, I know just the guy. They needed an organist. He said, I know just the guy. And he mentioned my name. George said, that's what I was looking for. So Jimmy Boyd had the number, and they called me. And George said, give the group a 2 weeks notice. I'm coming to get you. I gave him, and we went down. I was in Buffalo, my last gig. I gave him a 2 week notice, and he came down and waited till he finished, and we took off to his hometown, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And his mother's house, and we went down to the basement, and we played 2 songs, Clockwise and Secret Love. That was on the first album, Clockwise. So he says, Frank Green is playing tonight in New York. If we leave now, we can catch them. Frank Green, Larry Young, and Candy Finch. So we took off for New York. But the organ in he had this old little Cadillac, and he had thing, you know, you rent from U-Haul trailer, and we went on to New York, parked it, and went in.
Very cool.
Now, they asked us to come up and play one. Grant Green. We played one. That was it. Grant Green said, yes, he fell in love with me, so he kept asking me to play with him every time. He saw me every day. The manager didn't like that. He says, you and Larry Young and George and Lonnie. That was it. Now, about a week later, people were hearing about the little guys, and Ray Company started trying to get us, and was waiting for the right one. And John Hammond heard about it.
Yeah.
John Hammond was, now this is how it all connected. John Hammond was Columbia. He handled, you know, Bruce Springsteen, Count Basie, and all those biggies, you know.
Yeah.
So he came and heard us, and he fell in love, and right away we were playing. Won't you tell anybody this? You know who we were playing behind?
Who's that?
Go-go dancers.
Wow. That's funny.
There were go-go dancers up there, so we found that John Hammond came in the door. George told him to get down. We're going to play some songs now. So we started playing that. And John Hammond fell in love, so he wanted to sign us on the spot.
Right on.
So we went down, and he signed George up. The organ was broke, and he signed me up.
Cool. Very
That
cool.
was the beginning of that.
That's
And
a great
then,
story.
you know, it all just went just like a roller coaster. It evolved, it spiraled, and it got bigger and it got bigger. Now I recorded with Columbia. Then Lou Donaldson called. He was doing a CD album
Yeah.
at Rudy's, and you know just who to call. He called George Benson, Idris Muhammad, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Rudy's and we recorded Alligator Boogaloo.
Cool.
That was it. Now the record took off. Now Lou Dawson had gave me a little playing room. They liked the way it felt.
Mm-hmm.
So look up out to do a concert.
Yeah.
I did not have a group because George Stinson and I were playing together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a hit. And I'm playing with George. I said, oh boy, I love playing with George. We had fun. But I got to go out. So George went out with me to help me out. But I didn't have a group.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. Before you know it, it was gone. I was gone.
Yeah. Man, that's great.
Before George hit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Off like a bottle rocket. That's amazing. So what did George Benson teach you about life? I mean, just playing and life in general.
Well, George had, first of all, he had got this experience from Jack McDuff, but being out there on the road and stuff. I was out there on the road, but when I would play behind a lot of the Motown, because we'd go through little towns and things, you know. Well, playing with George, it gave me the experience of putting the things together and learning how to do that, because he had gotten that, and I understood it, because everything was new for me.
Yeah.
And I was learning a lot from that, because he had been playing since he was about 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, I thought it was 20 years old. So, it was beautiful. And so I brought another thing into his group by playing, because I had been in that pop field playing behind the Motown groups and things. So I brought a little of that to his thing, you know.
Yeah.
He was playing jazz, a lot of jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And I love jazz. I was playing some jazz, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful. So we had a trio, and that was it.
Cool.
We forget about that. But he brought a lot. The group worked all the time.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, who are your heroes, Dr. Smith? Who do you look at and say, that's my hero?
Oh, it's a big list. It's a a great big list. When I say that, you have like, I love Art Tatum. I love Bill Gunn. I love Ahmed Jamal. I love Train. I love Wow. It's a big list. Stanley, Tarantino. I just love everybody that has something to do with music, because you learn something from all of them. Mm-hmm. Even the ones that you're not particularly crazy about, you can learn something from them. You can learn what not to do, what to do, what not to do. And that's the thing. That's the beauty in that. And I learned that. I really captured that. I learned everything from these. I was crazy about Wild Bill Davis, Bill Butler, as far as Oregon, Jimmy Smith, Johnny Hammond, you got Bill Doggett.
Yeah.
You got, it was so many. I loved them all the time. Addison. There were just so many. They were young. There were just so many. I was into everybody. Jack McDuff, Jimmy McGriff. The Oregon players. We were. And then, before you know it, we were all out there playing together.
Yeah.
And enjoying each other.
Yeah.
Like I'd be playing or they'd be playing, they'd come by, and we would stick our hand in a pot and play a course or two and get down. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Groove homes, all of us. We just had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You would enjoy that.
Oh, yeah.
And now, could you imagine how I feel? All of my heroes and fans, people who love me and I love them, they're gone.
Yeah.
you know, like McGriff and I used to play. We used to have a group together, and also Macduff. It was called Hell, Fire, and Damnation. We didn't record it, but we went on. We played for sure. Hell, Fire, and Damnation.
Man.
And just go to show you that we loved each other.
Yeah.
You know, it was such a love, brotherly love between the musicians. You know, Shirley Scott and all. You know, Trudy Pitts. I mean, it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
You never see such. Now all of those. If you imagine, I feel all the names I just named to you. Every name I called, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
It's wild.
But they still living inside of me. They are gone.
Yeah. And
so now, what I do is I give my love and my spirit to all the young people out there today are playing, whether it's organ or horn or whatever. Now, you know, because they're still my family.
Yeah.
So I try to spread that love and joy. And to see it go, you know, and they sampling the music, the kids are sampling the music. I say, wow. So now I'm touching not only people that were there when I was around, but I'm capturing now the young people also.
Yeah.
That now you can't beat that.
Oh,
when
no.
you go to a place and you have all ages there listening to your music together at that time, that's beautiful.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, because we didn't have that. I mean, you know, back in the day, you had basically elderly people there, you know, that loved jazz.
Yeah.
They used to dance to jazz and everything. But now, I go in and young kids come up and say how they love the music and things like that. I talk to them. I try to help them out any way I can because I love them. And they're going to keep it going. They're going to keep it going. I know. And I go to the schools and things. I talk to them. I teach them. It's a beautiful thing to see it come out, you know.
Without a doubt, and that kind of leads me into a Kansas City portion of this. One of your students, Chris Hazelton, he's tearing things up here in Kansas City as well.
Yes.
So.
Yes, how's he doing?
He's doing great. In fact, I just got one of his discs in the mail, and it's sweet. It's a little 45. Sounds like honey coming out of the speakers. Do you like being famous, Dr. Smith?
I never think of it because, take for instance, I love music so much. It's see, when I go out on stage or I walk down the street or somebody calls me or something like that, or I go to a concert, musicians come up to me, and I don't think of it as that because I see myself just as a person.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel. It's a beautiful feeling to be recognized. You don't know who they're supposed to be recognizing.
Yeah.
It's like, who are they talking to?
Yeah.
You know, they're not talking to me because I don't feel like they feel the same thing.
Yeah.
I only feel like, and then they say, oh, thank you. I'm saying, thank you for what? You know, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's what I see when you're out here and you have done good work or any kind of work, it starts coming back to you.
Yeah.
You know, when you get awards and things like that, you know, the Hall of Fame and the Dr. Lonnie Smith Day and all of that stuff, it's like, you don't believe it. you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're like, you're stunned.
Absolutely. So
It's a great, great thing, though.
absolutely. So over all of these years, what has inspired you to make the music from the moment that Art gave you that Hammond to today? What has kept you moving forward and making the great music that you make?
Well, I think, first of all, it's like, ever since I remember the first song I wrote on that organ. Do you know I never recorded that song?
Wow.
I never recorded the song. I remembered it right now. I still remember the key and everything, and I played by ear. I remember that song right now.
Yeah.
It's like, when I sit at the organ, it's like I don't know what it is, and then when you touch it, then things start to come to you as you play.
Yeah.
And and when I play the organ, it's like a flame. It's like a fire. Electricity is burning through my soul.
Yeah.
My feet all the way up. That's what it's like to me.
Cool.
It's an experience I get every time. The blood, it just feels, it's electricity.
Yeah.
It feels so good, but it feels good because it's warm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's warm. And in other words, I get more out of it than I think the people. But I mean, it's like I enjoy it because, like, when you play, some people play, they practice, or they practice, and then they play what they practice. And that's not the way.
Right.
I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The way, like you're talking to me now, you come right back,
Yeah.
and then we talk, and then it inspires you to say something else.
Sure.
And inspires you, it's like, you get that feeling, you say, oh yeah, I want to ask him this. And that's what happens.
Right.
When you play that music. It's like, to me, so like, I want to feel the same feel that you feel. So the people are feeling the same what I'm feeling when I'm up there playing. In other words, if I go for this and you trip, that's what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you fall, you play that. If you laugh, you play that.
Yeah.
If you cry, you play that. You have to play life.
Right on.
Life. And when you do that, you're telling the truth.
Yeah.
I want to hear your story. I don't want to hear just feel. I don't want to hear that. I don't care if it's number one note. I want to feel that.
Yeah.
Let me hear that, what you feel. That's what you feel. Don't feel bad because you can't play like so-and-so, that you don't play like as well as so-and-so. Sure you do. Just to give you an example, this might sound funny. You know this fellow by the name of Tom Waits?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I just want to feel you. It's not, I mean, some people can sing their can off, technically, but it's not, it's just technically. I think you understand exactly what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, I do.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how great you are, do I feel you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Well, that's what someone like Bob Dylan was like when he came out. There was a lot of
Yeah.
people that were technically better, but Bob had the soul, man. He got out there and just made the world listen.
You feel the pain of people. Johnny Cash.
Yep.
You know, you want to feel the pain of somebody, the hurt. I want to feel your story. Tell me about your story. When you read a book, you want a good book. You know, that's what it is.
Sure.
That's the same thing with music. Tell your story. Oh, I don't want to hear somebody else, but tell your story.
That's right.
So you're worrying about, I can't play like him, I can't sing like him, though. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great segue into my next question here. You do covers of your album on Beck was beautiful. You do all kinds of covers from the Beatles to Hendrix. Why do you like to do covers?
I don't think of it like that. You know, I think of it. You know how you have your classics.
Yeah.
In classical music also, the European classical music, and whatever, American classical music, you have songs that you play Swan Lake forever, right?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful song, and that's what I hear in a song. I don't play a song to make a hit or to try to make a hit. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Because I just love that particular song. I hear something that's, I haven't, my head is constantly hearing something. And you hear it, and you hear it different. I don't have to play it the way they did it because I just hear it different.
Yeah.
Well, he's not playing it as well as some, so I'm not trying to. I'm playing it because I love the song, and this is the way I hear it.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty. So, like, all the music is potent.
Yeah.
Potent. All of our classical music. Rock, funk, rap. All of it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, imagine, how can I say rap? And all that rock. You know, like, he can't play. He's playing jazz. He's playing rock. Everybody is against each other, and it shouldn't, because it's all one thing. Music and touching and making the world a better place. See, that's the thing about this music. It touches all over. I just came back from Israel, and all the things they were talking about on the news, you know, I didn't see none of that.
Yeah.
I didn't see one smoke. You know, not even from a cigarette. It was like, and they treated me well. It was beautiful. I ate well. The music was just beautiful.
That's great.
You know, I could see Egypt, Jordan, and all those, everything was always right there, you know.
Yeah. That's
I
beautiful.
didn't see one smoke bomb. And this is what I'm saying. So it connects everyone all over the world.
Yeah.
So therefore, all the music, because you got 12 tones. Although I don't read, you have 12 tones.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of those tones, everyone is playing one of those notes. So you see?
Yeah.
So why are you saying, well, I don't like that. I don't like the way he play. It's your taste. You know, just like if you listen to a song, and I try to tell a student this, well, he plays better than so-and-so, you know, plays, oh, is that so? I say, see, everybody is great within their own realm, as much as they can go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He can go and take it as far as he can take it. Now, it's just like you got runners, you run it, and you pass the kind of stick to the other guy or girl, and they run. The other guy's girl or guy is faster than the other. I put him here, so he'll be. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You got to pass it, and it goes. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
We're doing this together all over the world. I go to Europe and I play with orchestras and different things, You know?
Yeah.
It's good. We have to say one word.
Right.
You know, but we can play the music and laugh and smile, and that's the way we speak.
Absolutely.
And if things don't help the world come together, it would be music. One of the things that will definitely be music.
Yeah.
You know?
Without a doubt. And speaking of the music, in your career from Finger Lickin' Good in 1966 all the way up to The Healer in 2012, when you sit back and think about periods of recording in your life, what period do you really think about as being monumental for you?
The last album CD I did was called In the Beginning.
Okay.
That particular song kind of takes me back.
Yeah.
You know, because when I wrote In the Beginning, it was like in the beginning of, I felt that. It was like the world, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it opened up to me. That was the beginning of my world opening up.
Yeah.
And then later on I wrote a song called And the World Weeps. The World Weeps. In other words, it's crying. It's crying because of what's going on now.
Yeah.
I feel all of this. At that time, I feel all of those things. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, your music exudes such soul and happiness, and I can just tell by talking to you now, you're a very sage man. What has been the key to your happiness and staying positive and being such a force, not only in music, but in life?
I think what it is, I didn't see music. I didn't choose music. It chose me. And I found my passion in life. So I can't wait to the next day. It's like a beginning all over again.
Right on.
That I can do what I didn't do yesterday.
Cool.
And it really keeps me going. When you go out there and you play, if you could just see the young kids. I mean, when I say young kids, it's beautiful when they come up to you and say, thank you. I played at little schools where, I mean, really small kids, they draw pictures and things and thank you, and they're giving me pictures and scholarship on me. And with the beard and everything. I enjoyed it so much.
That's cool.
And that's what keeps me going. Because I can't wait. So I do it again. Some more. You remember that movie they had? Maybe you can tell me the name of this movie. It was about the Jewish, and they were trying to save them.
Schindler's List?
Yeah. What is it called?
Schindler's List?
Liam Neeson, right?
Yes, and that was the Spielberg film back in the 90s.
It's that song. I mean, that song. See, I think about that song all the time. Even when I go anywhere, anything I hear is music.
Yeah.
So what happens?
That's cool.
It's that truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. You remember when he says, if I sold the car, could have saved one more person.
Yeah.
That would have been me.
Yeah.
That would have definitely been me.
Yeah.
I could have saved one more person. See, like, I think constantly how to, I see it. I see it in my mind. You have to have a vision, first of all, whatever you do. I see, not quite, you won't call it a retirement, but something like when they get older,
Yeah.
and or they can't play anymore, they can, the amateur things are gone. They can't play as well, but they can go here, and they don't have to. They can't travel, but they can go here. They don't have to worry about paying rent and struggling.
Yeah.
All our friends that are doctors and lawyers, you have an internship, have them to come and help out, and they can teach. The musicians can teach there. All the people that come from Europe and all places to study, they can come here to this school and help keep that going and help the musicians, the elderly musicians. And the musicians that have been out there, they can really teach them the real truth about the music world and how it works, not just playing, but they can teach them a lot. Now, not only that, purpose also, that's one purpose. What about the purpose of them playing in this place, even though the amateur is not as well, it's not as good?
Yeah.
They get up and play, and the people won't say, oh, he don't play like he used to be. I spent all this money, and he doesn't play it. You see? They don't have to worry about that, because we know why he's there. We know he's sick. We want to cheer him and see him anyway and give him inspiration. So these people can still teach, and not only that, that's only two. Now the third is, imagine all of these people I just named, some of them, imagine being at one place and we can go out and talk about what we did yesterday. You know, they getting old up there. And yeah, we used to have fun, didn't we? We used to do this, and you remember this? And they laughing and joking. Now, what a lovely way to go.
Yeah.
You have to pass.
Yep.
Because, see, on the road, we catch up with each other maybe sometime 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later. We say, I haven't seen you in a long time. We are here. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? I mean, it would be, you could feel me through the phone, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited, you know. It's like, I can see it. I know it can happen. I know it. And it's going to happen. You know.
Yeah.
They have a place where they can go, don't have to worry about that stuff. They're out here because they can't afford it. They can't buy a house. Why? Because they can't get a loan from the bank and stuff. You don't have a steady job.
Sure.
They don't have insurance. They don't have this stuff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Now, see, if I had that kind of money, it would be worth it.
Yeah.
That's why I said, Schindler's List, I would say, take it.
Yeah.
This would be worth it.
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness.
Absolutely. So, in that vein right there, I'm going to wrap things up, and this is what I want to ask you. In, say, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, we all, as a collective, open up the jazz annals of history. How do you want the world to remember Dr. Lonnie Smith?
I would like for them to remember that he did leave something beautiful, and that my music stay with them forever. You know, and the kids keep playing and to think about me every time they play, and you know, this is what Dr. Smith did. This is him. This is, you know, that's a beautiful thing. You leave something on it. Don't just go and take. Leave something. You know, do something. Do something to make the world happy. You know, people happy. But people, you know, they got a habit of doing a take. And that's how I want them to remember me. He gave us something.
Right on. That's beautiful.
Love and joy.
Dr. Smith, thank you for giving me your time, your energy, your lineage of your life. It's beautiful. Thank you for all the music and more importantly, your time today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it was a pleasure. It was a really pleasure. So thank
You bet.
I hope to see you soon, okay?
Absolutely, sir. You have a good day and continued success.
All right, thank you. Be good. Keep doing great work. All right.
You too, sir.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the legends that have stormed and taken over the world of jazz over the years and given fans all of that jazz. And thanks to the legendary Dr. Lonnie Smith for his time, wisdom, and graciousness. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store or visit theneonjazz.blogspot.com for all things neon jazz. Until next time, enjoy the music, my friends.
Neon Jazz.